So healing journeys can begin in a lot of different ways. For me, it was when my grandfather died, and I started thinking about, how he died. Is there anything I could have done to help? And I started thinking, if I could have treated that heart attack, if I could have figured that out, if I could have cured that heart disease, I could have potentially saved his life. And I was very young at the time. Mohan, I wanted to ask you, how did you get into healing? How did you start thinking about it? You've done an incredible work, an extraordinary career as a healer, treating over 100,000 people. But how did it all begin for you?
Initially, I was very skeptical about this entire healing process, and rationally thinking, I didn't understood that healing can be done by a just touch of a person. But fortunately for me, or maybe because of my destiny, I met one person, Dr. Ramakant Keni, who was the director of a department of parapsychology in Bombay Hospital, Bombay. And he told me, Mohan, I think you are a healer. So though he told me as a healer, I was not convinced. I was skeptical because during that days in 1980, I told you there was no healer in the India. There was no healing coach in India. So healing was a very new branch at that time. And that somebody told me, who is reputed doctor and some director of a parapsychology, told me, Mohan, you are a healer. You are a born healer. But on that day, I didn't give much importance to that statement. But what happened, I was working in a state bank, and my bank was very small, say 10-15 people, and everybody knew somehow that somebody told me, some doctor told me that I have a healing power in my hands. So 6 or 8 months lapsed, and my colleague Narendra Kumar Navgare, my boss, suffered from a ganglion. Ganglion it was a growth near the wrist, and it was very painful growth, and he was not able to lift even 1 kilo of a pot or something. So that my boss requested me, see, anyhow, Mohan, somebody told you that you have that power, inborn power, so why not we try? So during that days, it was laughable to treat anybody because nobody knew about healing. If I said to somebody, I will treat you by touch, they will say, why are you mad? Those were the days in 1980, I am talking. So, but because my boss insisted, we started trying on him, and we used to go to one separate room where vouchers and records are kept, because we were both in the same bank. Whenever we get time, we used to go in that room. Even frankly, on that day, I didn't know much about healing, but I observed one healer in Bombay Hospital. So I said, you close your eyes. I also used to close my eyes, and I used to touch that growth of my boss with my fingertips. So in 2-3 days, his pain stopped completely, and after 1 month, the growth also disappeared. When the growth disappeared, I was convinced, that is sometime in March 1982, and since then, because I was convinced that because of my touch the growth got vanished, then I took this line very seriously. And then I opened a center in a labor chal in Thokars. That name of the chal was Thokarsi Chal, Varli Naka, Bombay. And then I started healing 30 to 50 people every day from October 1982. This way, though without my intention of entering healing line, as I was destined to be a healer, I was drawn into this line by circumstances, and somehow then I continued it till today.
So what I find incredible about this story is the perseverance, the really jumping right into it, and then also how you kind of went ahead and healed that many people just very quickly, just jumped in and started healing as many people as you could find. What was that like in the early days when you started reaching out? Initially reaching out to heal and telling people, I'm a healer, whatever you told them. What was that like? Those initial moments?
So in 1982, I started on a Dasera day, which is very auspicious in India, and I started treating 30 to 50 people a day, and it continued till 1992. I started treating 30 to 50 people every day, and after 1992, I started getting publicity because the media started publishing stories about my patient's recovery and all that. And then I can mention one or two things. In 1998 in Gulbarga, I have treated 218 patients on a single day. And in the same manner, in 2014, 28 May 2014, in precisely, in a camp at New Delhi, I have treated 125 persons in a day. And later, on 8th March 2020, on a Women's Day, I had a healing camp at Mulund, Bombay. The camp was specially for migraine people. And that time, when my age was 70, I treated 60 people on that day. So my work was quite huge, and because of that huge work, I got confidence and experience. And then I had 2-3 camps in Dallas and Virginia too.
And I just have to interject in here because, again, this is very astounding, and Mohan's method is very, very unusual. So, most healers, their sessions are an hour long, right? Maybe 30 minutes long at the shortest, but often these are hour-long sessions. Now, if you treat even 16 hours a day, that would be 16 people. Yet Mohan, he was saying 125 people in a day, 218 people in a day. So how is it, Mohan, that you're able to treat that many people in a day? And I also want to say one thing, that most of the time when Mohan treats, he is treating one person at a time. So I'll turn it back to Mohan to talk about this point.
Yes, we need just 2 to 5 minutes. What I do, I place one hand on the head, another hand on the back, and mostly my hands are warm, or sometimes there is an intense heat. Mostly my patient give me feedback that my hands are warm. Some people say they are like a hot water bag, and very few people say that there is a mild electric current. But anyway, that energy flows from my fingertips, and frankly I must admit to all and everybody that I am a small man, I am not a yogi, I am not a sadhu, just a small gift of healing, and I do nothing is my technique. I just put my hand, and one hand on the head, one on the back, and request for the recovery of the patient. Whatever patient has a problem, I just mentally convey to the Almighty, and for 5 to 10 minutes I do nothing. And I need only 2 minutes to 5 minutes for one patient. So naturally I can cover 10 to 15 persons in 1 hour. And if I put a 5 to 6 hour station, naturally 50-60 patient I can do it easily. And another point is, because I am not involved in healing. See, I just convey, and I do nothing is my technique. My technique is I do nothing. I do not observe the aura, I do not balance the chakra, nothing. What I do, just suppose the person has a migraine, I will say, I will request my Almighty take out his migraine. This patient is not able to sleep. Let him sleep. But that's all. Only one sentence, only one request to the Almighty, and then I do nothing for some time. And that do nothing is my technique. All the healers in the world, what they think, all the healers in the world, they mostly use their brain, they use their intelligence, and at the same time they think that Almighty will also help them, or universal energy will also help them. But it's not possible. My idea is human intelligence and divine intelligence cannot work simultaneously. So if anybody needs the help of a divine intelligence, he has to make his mind off. And when his mind is off, then only he gets the help of divine intelligence, and then divine intelligence can do what a human being may not.